We started with Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And today we're just going to deal with those two words, deliver us. There's a very popular song out by Donald Lawrence. It says, deliver me from myself. And Leandra Johnson is singing that song. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some high fives. Give me some hearts if you heard that song by Donald Lawrence, Deliver Me. This is my Exodus. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some high fives. Give me some hearts. If you haven't heard that song, it is hot. It will make you really think. It'll make you pray. It really will elicit some emotion in you if you've heard of that song. This is my Exodus. Deliver us. Deliver me from myself, from my overthinking. It's a wonderful, wonderful song. So I just decided today to focus on the words, deliver us. We'll deal with from evil tomorrow because evil is a whole topic by itself. But today we're just going to focus on deliverance. Now, when I think of deliverance, a lot of stuff comes up for me because I grew up in the Apostolic Church, the Holiness Church, and for a couple of years I joined this church that was called Bible Revival Deliverance Church, and it was a deliverance ministry. And so at that time, deliverance meant that we were going to shout all the time, we were going to speak in tongues all the time, we were going to dance all the time, we were going to fall out, they were always going to have the cloths ready. The pastor could be in the middle of Bible study, and Bible study could turn into preaching, and there was always going to be musicians on the organ. There was always going to be, a beat and an atmosphere. I mean, that's what deliverance meant. It meant that people who were on drugs, on alcohol, were coming into the service. We were constantly casting out demons. There was trash cans for people to be able to throw up. I mean, it was a deliverance ministry. So the focus of that ministry was deliverance. And so when I think of deliver us, that's what the first thing that comes up from my subconscious phase of mind is growing up in a deliverance church or a deliverance ministry. If you've ever heard of a deliverance ministry, then give me some thumbs up, give me some high fives, give me some hearts. That healing, a lot of miracles and signs and wonders and healings would take place in this deliverance ministry. If you've ever heard of that, give me some thumbs up, give me some high fives, give me some hearts. And it happened not just a rare occasion, it was every service, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, somebody was always being delivered. And so when we look at this prayer, when Jesus is teaching his disciples to pray, and he says, deliver us. As I understand deliverance is God's grace. Deliverance is when God snatches you out of a situation. Deliverance is when God does something for you that you cannot do for yourself. Deliverance is the unexplainable grace of God. Deliverance is when God just gives you unmerited favor. You can't explain it. You don't know how it happened. You don't know what you did to earn it or deserve it. That it just is just the hand of God to just snatch you out of something, to do something for you that you were not able to do for yourself. And it is deliverance when there's a divine intervention. When, normally we're affirming and denying and we're creating and we're manifesting and we're visualizing and we're doing our denials and our affirmations and we are, intentional about praise and worship and thanksgiving, and we can clearly see where we did something. We sowed a seed and it brought about this harvest. We can clearly see that I prayed this prayer and this happened. We can clearly see how we worked the principles and the principles started working for us. But when you talk about deliver us, this is when God snatches you out of something that you didn't know how to get out of yourself. Deliverance, deliver us, is when God does something for you that you cannot do for yourself. Deliverance is God's unexplainable grace that you don't even know how it happened. You can't explain it. You're not even able to repeat the process. Deliverance is not a repeatable process. 1, 2, 3, deliverance. No, deliverance is divine intervention, God's grace, God's mercy that goes beyond your comprehension. You know how the Bible says he's able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we could ask? Above all that we could even think, according to the power that works within us. And so deliverance is the unexplainable. It's like this wasn't based upon a principle that I stood on. This wasn't based on a practice that I did. But I know that this was a divine intervention. I can't explain it. I can't justify it. It doesn't even make any kind of logical sense. But it was deliverance. Deliver us. And so that's what that looks like. If you've ever had that experience of God snatching you out of something, of God doing something for you that you were not able to do for yourself. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some high fives. Give me some hearts if you understand this idea of deliverance. Pulley point number one, deliverance can come in the form of a person, that God sends a person to snatch you out. Remember the children of Israel? They were in Egyptian bondage and they were crying before God for deliverance, to deliver them from Pharaoh, to deliver them from Egyptian oppression, to deliver them from slavery, from bondage. And how God delivered them is that God sent them a person. God sent them Moses. And during the time of the judges, God would send a person to deliver them. That a person who had, pulley point number two, a plan to be able to deliver them, to an exit strategy, showing them how to get out of the situation. So pulley point number one is that God will send a person. Pulley point number two, that God will send a plan. It is that person that comes. Maybe it's a sponsor. Maybe it's my grandmother that prayed for me. Maybe it's a stranger on the side of the road. Maybe it's a police officer. Maybe it's a therapist. But you know that God sent that person at just the right time to snatch you out of that situation. They came with a plan to interrupt your cycle of negativity. Maybe you were going down a downward spiral, and this person came with a plan. You were presented with a plan. You were presented with an opportunity. You were presented with a way out, and you didn't know how you were going to get out of it. And so deliverance is when God snatches you out of a situation, when God does for you what you can't do for yourself. It is when God sends a person, pulley point number one, or God, pulley point number two, gives you a plan or sends a person with a plan that you can start to see your way out of it, that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you can see yourself getting out of the situation. That's deliverance, that God snatches you out, sends a person to help you. You know, like the Good Samaritan, where the man was left on the side of the road. He was half dead. He was beaten. He was robbed. He was bleeding. And God intervened. He was not able to get up and get to help, but God sent help to him. Deliver us. That God sent the Good Samaritan, somebody who had the oil and the wine to be able to help him. So deliverance is divine intervention. It's the unexplainable grace of God. It is when God snatches you out of a situation and does something for you that you cannot do for yourself in that particular moment. So pulley point number one, God will send a person. Pulley point number two, God will, either that person has a plan or God will give you a plan. Maybe it'll be a dream. Maybe it'll be a vision. Maybe it'll be this opening where, oh my God, I can see a way out. I can see my way clear. I was not able to see it before. Pulley point number three is that sometimes God will send a person to give you a word, a prophecy. Pulley point number three is prophecy. So the deliverance can come in the form of a person. The deliverance can come in the form of a plan. The deliverance can come in the form of a prophecy, where God gives you a prophecy. God gives you a word about your future, that you are stuck right here, and a prophecy comes to say, oh my God, that there's a future, that I can live beyond this, that there's hope beyond this, that God sent a person, a physical person, to snatch you out of it, like God sent Moses to deliver them from Egypt. Pulley point number two, maybe that person has a plan, or God gives you a plan where you can see your way out, you can see your way through, out of debt, out of bankruptcy, out of foreclosure, that God gives you a plan, and you know that God gave you that plan. Pulley point number three is a prophecy. God speaks a word to you directly to you or through somebody else about your future. So you know that you're going to live beyond this situation because the prophecy is about my future. And once I can see that there's a future, then I know that the situation that I am in is not the end. Can I say that again? The situation that you are in is not the end. The circumstance that you are in is not the end. You know how the movie comes up and it says the end? Well, when you get that prophecy, you get hope to know that this is not the end, that it's not over for me. And that hope will snatch you out of despair. That hope will snatch you out of that destitution. That hope will snatch you out of that cycle of negativity, out of that downward spiral. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some high fives. Give me some hearts. If you've ever experienced deliverance, where you got a moment of clarity. Maybe you were confused the whole time. Maybe you were under the influence of drugs or alcohol or somebody's manipulation, but you had that little window, that little moment of clarity where you were able to see your way out of this abusive relationship. You were able to see your way out of this place where you just felt like giving up and throwing in the towel and saying, forget it, and what's the use? But then deliverance came. And you saw a way out. I need some praises in here today. Because if you understand anything about where you feel like your mind is getting ready to start slipping away from you, and crazy thoughts start coming to your mind, and you start, considering suicide, and you start considering jumping off the bridge and driving your car into the water, and then something happens that snatches you out of that situation, and you know that it was nobody but God. You know that God delivered you, that God snatched you out of that situation, that you weren't even in a place to be able to make a sound, sane decision. But then God, that's what Jesus was teaching his disciples, deliver us, that when I'm not able to do it for myself, deliver me. Deliver me, snatch me out of this situation. Give me your grace. Send a person. Show me a plan. Give me a prophecy, something that will get me out of this situation. I'm going to share this testimony with you. I got a series of text messages yesterday that from the tent revival that we did on Tuesday night, that there was a woman that was getting ready to commit suicide, had the rope already there in her garage. But as a result of the tent revival, as a result of the service, she decided not to kill herself. She decided, I don't even remember saying anything about suicide, but something was said in that service that touched her heart and her mind and changed her mind around about committing suicide. And she told people what her plan was, and she decided to live. That's deliverance, where something is said, a prophecy, you get a word, something that changes your mind, something that changes your heart, that lifts the dark cloud from over your head, and you feel hope. You feel like you can live. You can feel like I don't have to give up, that I don't have to kill myself. I don't have to lose my mind. I don't have to do something stupid. Deliverance comes in the form of a person, in the form of a plan, in the form of a prophecy that snatches you out of the situation, and where God does for you what you are not able to do in that moment for yourself. That somebody prays for you. Isn't that what it says? Somebody prayed for me, had me on their mind. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed for me. That is deliverance. When God sends a person, a plan or a prophecy where you are able to get out of the situation. And so learn how to pray. Deliver us. That when I can't do it for myself, deliver me, snatch me out. Deliver me from myself, from my overthinking, from my crazy ideas. As somebody said, from my monkey mind. Deliver me from getting ready to go back to where you brought me out of before. I'm getting ready to go back. Deliver me, snatch me out. And then once I'm out, then I can get some principles. Once I'm out, then I can learn some practices. But I need to get out of this situation. I need deliverance. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of the daily download. Share this on your page. Somebody needs deliverance. Somebody needs to be snatched up, and somebody needs to be snatched out today. Their life is on the line, and hearing the word, you sharing the message will help save somebody's life. Deliver us. That's as far as we could get today, is those two words in the Lord's Prayer. Deliver us. And you got to watch tomorrow morning to get the other part of it, from evil. All right. I love you so much. Sow a seed today. Meet a need. Boost this post. Help us share this with hundreds of thousands of people all across this country, all over this earth, because somebody needs deliverance today. Somebody needs an answer, a resolution, a solution today. And I believe that this is the word that will help snatch them out of that situation. All right. And so share this on your page. Sow a seed, meet a need, boost this post. If you're looking for a shorter version of today's message, you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. If you desire to know our travel itinerary, I'm flying to New York today. I'm getting ready for the Beautiful You Conference with my spiritual daughter, Andrene Booth. I'll be there all weekend. New York Center of Truth on Sunday. Love Alive International Sanctuary of Praise. If you're in the Brooklyn, Manhattan, New York area, we're going to have a time this weekend. So join me and spend the weekend with us in New York. So you can find out more about that. Anything I've written is on my website, drpulley.com, DOCTOR pulley.com. You can get all that type of information to see previous videos. Go on our YouTube channel, which is also Dr. Pulley. I love you so much. God bless you. Until tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Remember, God is doing something wonderful in me, and God is doing something wonderful in you.